Do you hate selling your services because you just are terrified of coming off as that icky salesperson? Believe me, I get it. When I used to sell my branding services, I would always have a fine time talking to people about their businesses and their needs, and it would be an all chummy conversation until we got to the part where we had to talk about the sale and we had to talk about the money. And all of a sudden, the tone would change. I would feel like a deer in headlights. I would hate saying the price. I would feel so uncomfortable. I'd be so scared that they thought it was too much. If they did, I would start to talk in circles and try to convince them how valuable it was and try to convince them of how important it was and that my prices weren't too high. And the whole thing just felt really inauthentic and uncomfortable. Is this ringing any bells? Do you ever feel that or hate getting on a sales call because you just feel like they can tell that you want to sell them something? First of all, I'd love to hear from you below if that is your experience, and I want you to comment because I want other people to see it too, because I really don't think you're alone. In fact, most people in our industry hate sales. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you could sell your services without feeling salesy or without being salesy? I like to teach my students something called sell without selling. And the basic premise is you don't ever want to sell somebody. The idea of selling is akin to trying to get someone to buy something that they don't actually want. That's why sales and selling feels icky, because we think of it as trying to convince someone to do something they don't want to do. If you want to sell without being salesy, here's the trick. Come to every interaction with no expectations, and then spend that interaction trying to figure out if you are the perfect person to help this person. Spend that conversation trying to figure out if they actually have a problem and if you can actually solve it. And let that be the only point of the conversation. If you focus on your prospect's existing situation, on their challenges, on what they're looking for help on, and then in the back of your head, you're thinking, okay, can I help this person? Maybe there's somebody else that could help this person better. Am I the perfect person to solve this problem? Do I know how to solve this problem? If your mind is focused there, you're going to be so much more relaxed, so much more authentic, and you're going to actually connect with the person much more deeply. Okay, so you're going to have this great conversation, but then what happens when it comes to the sale? If you've done this interviewing process authentically, the sale is actually going to happen on its own. Because if you ask enough of the right questions, the prospect is actually going to come to you and say, so can you help me with this? They're going to ask you how they can hire you. And because I hate sales so much, what I ended up doing was creating our lead product process so that when they said that, I could just tell them exactly what they can buy. That way, it wasn't like I was pitching them or I was telling them, oh, I'm going to write you a pitch. I could just say, oh, I have this thing over here. This is how much it costs. It's over there, you can buy it. I always wanted to separate myself from it, but it actually works. I've had so many students tell me that because of the way that I teach selling without being salesy, or selling without selling, by inquiring instead, and then having a solution that almost feels detached from you, it's just like a product on the shelf, they find that clients will ask to buy it and they don't feel like they ever even asked for the sale. If you do the fit call right, they will be asking you if they can hire you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get more videos about how to scale your 1 to 2 person branding agency to $30,000 to $50,000 months without employees.